Welcome into King's Table, guys. Today, we're gonna be talking about the newest Netflix movie that came out, Bright.
Oh,
Did you watch it?
I thought we were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, is that why you wore that jacket?
Yeah.
I love it. Like I'm all professional, like a news. Today on tonight's story, Star-Lord tells me about Bright. Star-Lord. No, I can't do it. Can't do it. You're not Star-Lord.
Okay. Well, hey, I did see Bright.
You did?
I did see Bright.
So I gotta ask you for start off question. When you saw the trailer for it, did you think it was gonna be another Netflix show like I did?
I thought it was a series.
So did I. I think everybody out there thought it was a series. Because I saw it and I was like, oh, cool, Will Smith's going to do a series like everything else on Netflix.
Yeah.
Little did I know. Because it was in the theaters, tons of previews. It was their first big budget. No, the trailers were.
The trailers were in theaters?
Yeah, there was trailers for it all in theaters. Oh, I did multiple times.
Really?
And so I was like, wow, they're going.
Oh, before the movie.
Yeah, they're going.
Oh, okay.
They're going big for this. And at that time, I also thought it was a series, and then I found out it was just a one-time movie.
I will say, though, and you're probably going to say the same thing, it should have been a series.
Why?
I think it definitely should have been a series. I liked it, but they couldn't tell enough story in a movie format.
See, I am going to disagree with you like always.
Really?
It should have been a movie.
No.
I think if it was a series, you would have had this problem. First episode, great. Second episode, decent. And then 3 through 7, fillers. Boring. Just side story that we don't care about.
Okay.
They would have had to write so many episodes. I think they got just enough done because I don't think this was all about orcs and elves. I think this movie had a bigger message.
Yeah, it was about racial.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was way about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? You don't need a whole series on that. You needed the movie, and they're going to do a sequel, which is great. But they got everything done in it that you needed. I honestly think we would have went on so many sidetracks and stuff filler episodes.
I guess just to reiterate what I said, a mini series.
A mini series, like three,
4 episodes.
Okay, still a series.
Yeah, but a series because talk about a little bit more about where the wands came from.
Well, I think they might reiterate that into it.
There's dragons apparently.
Well, yeah, there should be. There's probably
flying,
dwarves. There's probably a whole bunch of stuff
flying in the background.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool, but like a little bit more about the world that they're in. How the heck did they still have that fantasy style
Here?
in this world? Like in our world we know.
Okay.
Like they're dressed as normal stuff, have normal jobs, but it's in a fantasy world. This job like magic and stuff is no big deal. Like this is a normal thing.
Yeah, because there were so. I think that's the reason it's.
I love the concept of it.
I think that's why it was better for a movie because we didn't need to know that backstory. I think the problem is with this generation. No offense, our generation that we live in, we need answers to everything, and you don't always need that. There's great endings that are open ended where it's your own thought process or where that came from or how it happened. I think also there was no reason to go into all that backstory because we already knew that they went through the fantasy time and they brought it into this era and they're just living with it and it's normal for them.
Sure.
To us, it's not because we don't live with that actually. But to them, unless you go to Comic-Con, it's to them that's normal. So they're just living their lives, with their prejudices, their racism, and all that stuff. And we saw that big story, but it was well done.
It was good. I watched it and liked it.
You liked it. So all right, we're giving it a B, C, D, or F rating.
B.
A B. Why a B?
It was a little bit drawn out.
Okay.
A little bit. And there was, I think, too much of the racial indifference stuff.
Okay. See, I think, okay, one, I don't get why you wanted a miniseries and if you thought it was too drawn out.
No,
see, this is what I'm saying.
No, I meant like moments where they just should have left a lot of it out and given us a little bit more action, a little bit more backstory of what we really wanted to know about.
Okay. Like how they kept just talking about the Dark Lord and then...
Yeah, and never really talked about it, showed it, or nothing. No, we don't know anything about it.
This is one of those movies, though, I think, one, the message started where, like, let's say they were sitting at the table probably, and they're like, hey, we're going to do a movie about orcs and elves being in society in L.A., but it's going to deal with the racial prejudices that we're dealing with nowadays. Two, I think what happened was there's a lot of movies written now where we fell into the, as I call it, the Harry Potter syndrome, where we knew there was going to be, 8 of those? Because all the books were out,
9.
but also the fact 9. Sorry, whatever. Whatever. No, I think there's 8. Whatever. There's numbers of them.
There's a lot.
And the thing is that we write things for series now of movies, not series of TV shows. So I think they went into this going, okay, well, tell us one. We'll see how it does, and then there's definitely gonna be a sequel. Because look how quick after it came out. Mind you, Netflix you can binge in a day for shows or anything. Get as soon as it's released, everybody knows about it. Everybody reviews it right then and talks about it. They knew they were going to do a sequel. And so it was written this way to be a little vague so we would want more. Because let's be honest, if you would have gotten all those answers in this one, would there really be a need for a sequel? Because how often do you leave a movie that you've seen, and then as soon as you leave go, oh, I've gotten everything I want, why are they making a sequel? That happens a lot where we sit there and we're like, why are they going to do this? Because then we go, well, what's the story going to go from here? They have multiple ways they can do a story now. They could do a whole orc backstory. They could do the Dark Lord. They could do the future from this. They have a lot of options now by the way they did it, and they wrapped things up.
True.
That was my only complaint. I gave this movie an A-. I thought the acting was great. Will Smith, I think, is always good. But also, I loved how he had to question his own character the whole movie.
Yeah.
Where he was being a jerk to the orc. And he was being that way. But he didn't want to be treated that way with his family. And then when he saw how it was and what they could offer each other, it was way better. The one thing that I didn't like, there was a lot of these types of movies, these action films, especially fantasy and stuff, everything's easy to read. Like, you knew what was going to happen next.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as they met that person, oh, that person's powerful.
It's very predictable.
Or how everybody knew what was going on or talking about, and Will Smith just kept going, where is this from? Why is this one? But nobody's answering him. They're just running around. The action, though, plenty of it. There was lots of good amounts, especially the shoot-up scenes and stuff. They did a very good job shooting it, but I think the main thing I loved about it, the makeup and the practical effects. I am a huge practical effects person. I think most of us are. We love CGI for when it's needed, but it was beautifully done.
It was. I definitely like that. Whatever the heck happened to that one elf when she got cursed, or with the wand, she's like hung up on that thing.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was there.
The bodies that were like glowing, like melted, or whatever. That was all. It was a really well done movie.
Yeah, they did it. They did a good job. I think they did better than they expected too, because they were putting so much marketing behind it.
Yeah.
And I think everybody at first, like us, made the mistake of thinking it was going to be a series.
Yeah,
and it wasn't. And then I remember walking out of some theaters going, I don't really want to watch that. Now that it's not a series, and that's what I thought at first. I'm not really going to enjoy it. And I just sat at home, watched it by myself one day, and I was actually drawn in more than I thought. I was doing work while putting it on, which tells you enough about what I thought of the movie going into it. When you're doing something else, you put a movie on, it's just background
noise. You're not
noise.
giving it your full attention.
I closed the laptop and I was sucked in, and it was great for that because there were so many little intricate points that were hitting on for me. And the other thing I think I liked the most, which is small and lame, was the intro to credits. I miss credits being introed in a movie. I think nowadays we just jump into a film. Like, nothing like when Star-Lord first got introduced. That was great. That was a great intro. But when they were doing the tagging and all that, and it was all the graffiti introduced, that was cool because it was already telling you the story that you needed to know as well. And that, I thought they did a very good job. The funny point, though, that I didn't like was it was all about racial tendencies and stuff, and then they made every character like a racial stereotype.
I know.
Which I found odd, is that they're like all the elves, of course, were all rich and all this
white.
way and all white and long hair, and like there was no demographic difference, but all people. They were the only society in that whole world that was a certain way. Like, he was the only orc that acted that way. I would also be interested to see it outside of LA, I guess. Like, they went to Nebraska.
Right,
how the orcs in Nebraska are.
Redneck orcs or something.
But, you know what I mean? It was like they were all, like, we're talking about racial stereotypes and how it shouldn't be that way, but then the whole movie's written around everything being a racial stereotype.
And it was kind of racist.
So you put it in its own light going, okay, well, you shouldn't treat these people this way, but they're all that way. Like, that's what I didn't get. It's like...
Yeah, right. I found myself watching the movie thinking, okay, the orcs are supposed to be the black people.
Well,
and the black people are essentially replacing the white people, but the white people are rich, powerful elves, and it's like, this is interesting.
I can see that. I guess I wasn't looking into it in that way. What I was thinking was all the orcs were, you shouldn't hate the orcs. It's bad because that's racist. But we should hate the orcs because they're bad and they did terrible things. So it's like, okay, you've pigeonholed them into a stereotypical avenue that they have to live down, and they all live down except the one that wants to be a cop, and that one's hated by them, but all of us hate him because we're supposed to hate him, but we shouldn't be that way, which makes you think, which is good because that's what the movie did. I love sitting down to slow, boring movies that you have to think about. It's great. But it was the fact that it was very hard to get past that when the message was driven so hard home, because there was never any diversity within the diversity cultures, if that makes sense. I would have liked to see a different form of group, like I said, maybe some orcs from somewhere else, or some orcs that made it into the elven community, or even if they were butlers or whatever, you saw them intermingling more, and it was just like everything was so segregated, but yet we're living together with certain groups, and some of those were the things that were unanswered that bothered me. Not that, why is this guy an FBI agent, and were they helping him half the time, were they not, stuff like that. The only other issue after that was the coincidentalness of all of it. That, of course, you can't have a story without the main hero finding out that he's a hero. Will Smith can grab the wand, and he's a bright.
If you didn't see that coming, come on, there's something wrong with you.
Right, but it's the point that it had to line up for him to be a cop with this guy. This had to line up here, and we're living in a society where we're this far in the future, but all of a sudden the prophecy lines up perfectly that way. Those types of things bother me, and I mean, I know I should get over it because it wouldn't be a movie if that didn't happen.
Right.
But, also you're sitting there going, really? Of course he's going to be able to grab the wand. It's sort of like when you were able to grab the purple stone.
Exactly.
Lame.
But at least there was some story as to why.
Yeah, that now we got told. And see, maybe we'll get some of those answers
Maybe.
right, too. So I'm giving it, what did I say, a B minus or an A minus?
A minus.
A minus, and you're giving it a B?
I'm giving it a B.
That's a pretty solid. I mean, you guys, tell us what you thought of it. Hope you enjoyed it. I mean, if you don't have Netflix, Chris will loan you his account probably in the messages.
Link will be right here.
Yeah, log into his account from multiple screens and get him busted.
Yep. JK.
Uncle Jake? Uncle
JK.
JK?
Uncle
Oh,
JK.
you're talking in that lingo
Just
stuff.
kidding.
LMFAO.
Just joshing around.
Well, guys, tell us, like we said, what you thought. Like, share, subscribe. Hope you're enjoying the King's Table. Tell us what you want us to do next. And Star-Lord will probably host with a helmet next time.
Yes, I have one.
I know.
I have
That's
full
what you
costume.
should. You have the full costume?
Full costume.
I'm going to borrow it to pick up some ladies. My wife is
That's
going
my
to kill
job.
me.
My job. I can.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one.